India boasts a staggering number of temples, estimated to be between 600,000 to a million, with more being built each year. Each temple is unique, with diverse worship practices, architectural styles, and beliefs. These temples have fascinating histories, with origins ranging from royal commissions and tribal constructions to political and artistic endeavors, and even natural formations. While some temples attract millions of devotees, others remain isolated and hard to reach. Join us in this series as we delve into the captivating stories behind some of India's temples, offering a glimpse into the country's rich cultural and historical heritage. Today we are looking at a holy site that has undergone multiple reconstructions and has been the target of many invaders throughout the years. It has also been fiercely defended by numerous kings and remains a major pilgrimage destination, revered as one of the holiest places in India. It is time to visit the rich history of the Somnath Temple. The Somnath Temple is a significant Hindu temple located in Prabhas Patan, Verawal, Gujarat. It is considered to be the first among the 12 Jyotirling shrines of Shiva, making it a highly revered pilgrimage site for Hindus. Jyotirling is a Sanskrit compound of Jyotis meaning radiance and Linga meaning sign, and is a devotional representation of the Hindu god Shiva. According to the Shiva Mahapuranam, also known as the Shiva Puran, there are 64 original Jyotirling shrines, but currently 12 are currently the most auspicious. A lingam, sometimes referred to as Shiv Ling, is an abstract or aniconic representation of the Hindu god Lord Shiva. Lingam is regarded as the outward symbol of the formless reality, the symbolization of merging of the primordial matter with the pure consciousness, Prakriti with Purush. Archaeologists have discovered lingam stones in Mohenjo-daro that can be dated back to a period before 2300 BCE. It is very difficult to answer the question when Somnath first appeared. Somnath has been a revered pilgrimage destination since ancient times, primarily due to its status as a Triveni Sangam, or the confluence of three rivers, Kapila, Hiran, and Saraswati. According to folklore, the moon god Soma lost his radiance due to a curse. To regain his splendor, he bathed in the Saraswati river at this very site. This legend is believed to be the reason for the waxing and waning of the moon. The town's name Prabhas means luster, as well as the alternative title Somveshwar means Lord of the Moon and Somnath means the moon god. They all derive from this tradition. There are varying accounts regarding the origins of the Somnath Temple, with estimates ranging from the early centuries of the first millennium to the 9th century CE. Although the temple is not specifically referred to as Somnath in ancient Hindu Sanskrit texts, the pilgrimage site of Prabhas Patan, where the temple stands, is mentioned. The Mahabharata and Bhagavad Puran also recognize Prabhas Patan as a Tirth on the Saurashtra coastline. Kalidas's 5th century poem, Raghuvamsa, provides insight into some of the revered Shiva pilgrimage sites during his era. This currently includes Banaras, known as Varanasi, Mahakal Ujjain, Triambaka, Prayag, Pushkar, Gokarn, and also Somnath Prabhasa. This list serves as a clear indication of the celebrated Tirths of this time. While the site was a religious pilgrimage destination in ancient India, the precise date of the first temple remains unknown. However, by analyzing historical texts and archaeological findings, experts have approximated the temple's origin to be between 800 to 900 CE. The name Someshwara begins to appear starting in the 9th century. The Gurjara Pratihari dynasty governed much of northern India from the mid-8th century until the 11th century, with a reign that began in Ujjain and later on moved to Kannauj. King Nagabhata, who lived from 805 to 833 of the Gurjara Pratihari dynasty, documented his visit to the Tirths in Saurashtra, including Someshwara. The Chalukya or Solanki dynasty ruled over parts of present-day Gujarat and Rajasthan in northwestern India from approximately 940 CE to 1244 CE. The founder of the Chalukya dynasty of India was Mula Raja, who reigned between 941 and 996. It is believed that Mulla Raja may have constructed the first temple for Soma at the site before his death. However, some historians argue that he may have simply restored a smaller, earlier temple. Excavations of the Somnath site have unearthed the earliest known version of the Somnath Temple. The excavations showed the foundations of a 10th century temple. The excavations uncovered significant broken pieces and intricate details of a highly decorated temple. Al-Biruni, an Iranian scholar and polymath, made significant contributions during the Islamic Golden Age. He is often referred to as the founder of Indology, father of comparative religion, father of modern geodesy, and the first anthropologist. With a keen understanding of subjects such as physics, mathematics, astronomy, and natural sciences, he was a gifted linguist who could speak Khwarezmian, Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit, and he also knew Greek and Hebrew. Many historians view him as an impartial writer. Between 1017 and 1030 CE, Al-Biruni resided in the northwest Indian subcontinent region, in addition to his homeland of Afghanistan. In his writings, he described Somnath, which was located little less than 3 miles west of the mouth of the river Saraswati. The temple was situated on the coast of the Indian Ocean, with the idol bathed by its water during the time of flow, thanks to the temple's location. Thus, the moon was perpetually occupied in bathing the idol and serving it. He also said that Somnath served as a harbor for seafaring people and a station for those traveling between the country of Zanj in East Africa and China. Al-Biruni's significant accounts of the events that occurred in Somnath are particularly noteworthy, for he was in service in the Persian court to a certain monarch. He witnessed the destruction of the Somnath temple and the brutal massacres that occurred under the rule of this Persian monarch. In 1026, the Somnath temple was raided and looted of its Jyotirlinga by the Turkic Muslim ruler Mahmud of Ghazni. According to estimates, he took away approximately 20 million dinars worth of valuables. Al-Biruni confirmed the raid undertaken by Mahmud of Ghazni in 1026 in Somnath. This event is also validated by other Islamic historians. According to Al-Biruni, Mahmud's intentions were to raid for the purpose of plunder and to satisfy the righteous iconoclasm of a true Muslim, and he came back to Ghazna with valuable loot acquired from Hindu temples. Al-Biruni made criticism of the raids on India, pointing out that they have led to a decline in prosperity, created resentment among Hindus towards foreigners, and forced Hindu scholars to flee from conquered regions. As per Jamal Malik, a scholar of South Asian history and Islamic studies, Mahmud's iconic status in Islam by several Muslim historians in the 11th century stemmed from the demolition of the Somnath temple in 1026. The destruction of the Somnath left a lasting cultural impact on both the Persian and Hindu sides. For the Persians, it fueled a cultural memory of the event, inspiring epics of conquest. On the other hand, the Hindus viewed Somnath as a symbol of resilience, inspiring tales of recovery and epics of resistance. Persia elevated Mahmud as the exemplary hero and Islamic warrior for the Muslims, while in India, Mahmud emerged as the exemplary arch enemy. As per historian Cynthia Talbot, a tradition claims that during Muhammad's attack on the Somnath temple, around 50,000 devotees perished while attempting to halt him. Following the attack by Ghazni, Kumarapala, a king from the Solanki dynasty of Gujarat, oversaw the reconstruction of the Somnath temple, which included the use of precious stones and excellent stonework. An inscription dated 1169 describes the temple's refurbishment, which replaced a previously decaying wooden structure. Kumarapala's reign encompassed present-day Gujarat and surrounding areas. In 1299, Alauddin Khilji's armies, led by Ulu Khan, successfully defeated Karn, the final Waghela king of Gujarat in India. This led to the sacking of the Somnath temple and the collapse of the Waghela dynasty. Karn's life is relatively unknown, save for his defeat against the Delhi Sultanate. Following the invasion, Karn was forced to flee Gujarat, but later regained control of some of his territory. Unfortunately, a second invasion in 1304 resulted in the ultimate downfall of the Waghela dynasty marking the end of Hindu rule in Gujarat before the Muslim conquest of the region. Legends state that the Jallore ruler Kanhadeva later recovered the Somnath idol and freed the Hindu prisoners after an attack on the Delhi army near Jallore. However, other sources state that the idol was taken to Delhi, where it was thrown to be trampled under the feet of Muslims. Mahipala I, the Chudasama king of Saurashtra, oversaw the temple's reconstruction in 1308. His son, Hengara, installed the lingam at some point between 1331 and 1351. During 1395, Zafar Khan, who was the final governor of Gujarat under the Delhi Sultanate and subsequently the founder of the Gujarat Sultanate, destroyed the temple for the third time. After this point, it is not known how many times the temple was rebuilt or by who, but it is known that it was destroyed by several others, as those are noted in history. For example, in 1451, it was desecrated by Mahmud of Ghazni, the Sultan of Gujarat. About 200 years later, another incident happened. In 1665, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb ordered the destruction of the temple, which was one of the many temples destroyed during his reign. Worship followed, and in 1702, he ordered that if Hindus divide worship there, it should be demolished completely. But an unexpected hero was about to rise. A legend was about to be made. An unexpected person was about to avenge everyone. This hero was a British legend. Here, when the British occupied India, were in India on business, here to assist us in some way by giving us civilization and helping us build trains because we couldn't do it without them, and other great things they accomplished with a lot of peace. In 1842, Edward Law, the first Earl of Ellenborough, the Governor General of India at that time, part of the British Raj, issued his proclamation of the gates, in which he ordered the British army in Afghanistan to return via Ghazni and bring back to India the sandalwood gates that were stolen from the temple, from the tomb of Mahmud of Ghazni in Afghanistan. His Jat army marched there and took the gates from the tomb and, through a very elaborate procession, brought them back all the way to India. He was greeted as a hero and is till this date considered a legend for doing something so great, for bringing those sandalwood gates back to India. Well, actually that didn't happen. Turns out those sandalwood gates weren't even sandalwood gates, they were deodar wood gates, and they were not even from the temple itself, they were just actual gates from the tomb. And he did just follow the rumor, and everything he did was a mistake, and then he had to go to the parliament in Britain and embarrass himself there. Even the Jat soldiers who, when they reached the tomb, were like, these are definitely not from a temple, they're clearly not our architecture. But he didn't listen to them, and he had this elaborate procession, and he somehow thought he was going to be a hero or something. But that didn't work out. The gates from the tomb of Mahmud of Ghazni are now stored in the arsenal of Agra fort. Before independence, Verawal was part of the Junagadh state, whose ruler at that time had decided to accede to Pakistan in 1947. However, India disapproved this, as this would mean the neighboring areas would be in India, and that would be a landlocked state in the middle of the Gujarat area. India contested the accession and successfully annexed the state after holding a referendum. India's then Deputy Prime Minister Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel came to Junagadh on 12th November 1947 to stabilize the area with the use of the Indian Army, at which time he ordered the reconstruction of the Somnath Temple. Sardar Patel, K.M. Munshi and other leaders of the Congress then went to Mahatma Gandhi with their proposal to reconstruct the Somnath Temple. Although Gandhi supported the renovation of the temple, he recommended that the public should fund the construction instead of the state. He expressed his pride in being associated with the project. After the deaths of both Gandhi and Sardar Patel, the reconstruction of the temple continued under Munshi's leadership.
Munshi served as the Minister for Food and Civil Supplies at that time. In October 1950, the ruins were demolished, and the mosque situated at the same location was relocated to a few kilometers away with the aid of construction vehicles. On 11th May 1951, Rajendra Prasad, the first President of Republic of India, invited by K.M. Munshi, performed the installation ceremony for the temple. The architect of the new Somnath Temple was Prabha Shankar Bhai Oghad Bhai Sompura, an architect who worked on the recovery and integration of old recoverable parts with the new design in the late 1940s and early 1950s. The temple is built using the Solanki architectural style that was popular in Gujarat before Islamic invasion and was constructed by the master masons of the Sompura Salats, a well-known group from Gujarat.
The reconstructed Somnath Temple has been the preferred pilgrimage site for Hindus in Gujarat, often combined with a pilgrimage to neighboring Dwarka. It is now a major local tourist destination and has been managed by the Sri Somnath Trust. There is a 35-minute long 3D light and sound show inside the Somnath Temple premises. It depicts the history as well as the religious and cultural importance of the temple. The light and sound show is a voiceover by Indian superstar Amitabh Bachchan. The temple itself is not without controversy. The Somnath Temple has been used as a catalyst to reflect on India's history and to raise concerns over its sacred spaces, including controversial sites like Ayodhya. The Somnath Temple was used as a cultural symbol and the starting point for the Rath Yatra, chariot journey, by Lal Krishna Advani to begin his Ayodhya campaign in 1990, which eventually led to increased communal tension. However, before a communal war starts in the comment section, it must be remembered that in India, Muslims came forward and donated 200 bighas of lands for the development of the temple. Inscriptions have been found that Bohras of Arab descent living in Somnath who died defending Somnath against attacks of the Delhi Sultan. Many inscriptions of mosques in Somnath show harmonious relations between Hindus and Muslims. As late as 14th century, Gujarati Muslim pilgrims were noted by a historian and poet Amir Khusrau to stop at that temple to pay their respects before departing for the Hajj pilgrimage. Ghazni was an outsider and his wars took the lives of many Muslims. As well, he always enlisted locals and had Hindu vassals under him as well. Also remember that Mughal rulers desecrated and built mosques over existing structures, as it emphasized their power over their religion. The Mughals are all gone now, like most kingdoms. While Hindus may want to reclaim their temples, one must remember that Islam has 3 primary mosques and none are in India. So peaceful negotiations and construction of a new mosque in place of an old one can be achieved, as it has been done before. Unless you're a politician and need the votes. For the rest of us Indians, we don't need to fight amongst ourselves because we have a neighbor called Pakistan. A school book in Pakistan titled Our World portrays Somnath Temple as a place where all Hindu Rajas used to get together and think about fighting the Muslims. Mahmud went to this temple and blew the idol in pieces, and this success was a source of happiness for the whole Muslim world. Other textbooks argue that Muhammad attacked the temple because Hindu kings were using it to plan attack on the Muslim world. While none of these are accurate, you may be wondering why Pakistan has this in their education system. Well, their education system is not based on facts and history, but rather on the imagination of those whose greatest achievements in life is their hatred for India. Some students there think that Pakistan has defeated India multiple times and don't know the truth about both their losses. Well, that is all the information I have for you today. I really hope you liked the video and please subscribe if you can.